Censure. It's defined as an expression of formal disapproval, and it's a word that's been thrown around a lot lately. Several elected members of Idaho's legislature, members of the Republican Party, have had to face not only the word, but a vote to be subjected to it. And it's been happening for several months across the Gem State. The latest coming Tuesday night in Latah County. Republican Representative Lori McCann from District 6, which covers Lewis, Latah, and part of Nez Perce counties, was censured Tuesday night by 26 members of the Latah County Republican Central Committee for 5 votes she made during the last legislative session. For her no votes on House Bill 314, the library bill, House Bill 265, the drag show and minors bill, House Bill 155, a vaccine prohibitions bill, House Bill 259, an absentee ballot bill, and House Bill 273, which is a property tax budget bill. And this wasn't even the first time this has happened to Representative McCann. She was handed a vote of no confidence by the Lewis County Republican Central Committee in March and the Nez Perce Central Committee in April. 2 things that were decided by fewer than 20 people. Those votes were brought about by complaints from voters in those respective counties because they believe McCann wasn't following the party platform. And McCann admits she did check the box to adhere to the party platform back in May of 2022 ahead of the primary election. And she was told she did it again before the November general election of 2022. But those came before the GOP winter and summer meetings when a lot of stuff changed for the party platform. So this censure doesn't really carry a lot of weight other than a public demerit. Maybe you don't get help during your next campaign. That's kind of how these things have been going. But as McCann told us today, this kind of public admonishment, this kind of tribunal scolding for rules that weren't even in play during the last session, maybe they shouldn't matter in a campaign anyway. She told us from her home in Lewiston, she was elected to serve the many, not the few.
Well, we have to remember our entire state is not all far right, and they have quite a few far right believers and on that side of the party that are precinct captains that believe that they are representing the majority of the Republican Party. And that's where the rub is, because I believe that I am representing more of what is the mainstream Republicans in the state of Idaho.
It's not just the Republicans, because I was looking over some of the numbers in Latah County. You won in 2022 with 7,800 votes. The Democrat got 7,000 votes. So it's a pretty purple area.
Oh, absolutely. It's a swing district. I've been here a long time. I understand Idaho. Yeah, I understand our district. I understand the different factions of folks that live in our district. And so I feel pretty confident that I am representing Main Street Republicans.
And I guess the bottom line is getting those 7,800 votes to win in 2022. Should that be thrown out for the votes of 23 precinct captains that voted for this?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that we have a real disconnect between our state party and some of the these outside influences that have come in to our state, and they are trying to hold every Republican accountable for the extreme views that they believe that are on the far right.
I mean, it seems like Tuesday night's vote was to decide whether you serve the party or you serve the people.
Right.
Do you serve the party or do you serve the people?
I serve the people. And if my people that are in my district can say to me, we do not agree on that part of the platform, then I am working for the people. Party, it cannot be the only thing that we look at. I was raised in a very conservative home, and I believe in conservative values, but I also believe that I'm representing the people in all of my district, and that means all of them, not just the far right, not the left, not just the middle, but everybody. We are a swing area, and if we don't think about what's the middle, we're going to lose that, and we're going to lose seats.
10 people spoke against that resolution on Tuesday night and wanting the committee to not censure Representative McCann, and 9 people spoke in favor of the censure, according to the Moscow Pullman Daily News. Representative McCann pointed out this censure, well, comes without punishment, but the Latah Republican Central Committee told her to get back in their good graces, she could publicly recommit to the Republican platform. And when I asked her if she was going to do that, she told me there's no way she could commit universally to what that platform is right now. Okay, so what does the Latah County Republican Central Committee have to say about it? In a county where it's not overwhelmingly conservative, I asked the chair why they ended up voting to censure McCann.
I guess we had a difference of opinion with the representative on how those votes affected the residents of our communities.
I guess the question is she supposed to represent the party, or is she supposed to represent the people that elected her on both sides?
Well, she's a representative of all the people. When we talk about censure, what we're wanting to do is open lines of communication so that as we talk about some of these critical areas that we think are critical, that we think we're being heard. So we're not necessarily trying to control how she votes. We do want to have a voice in that. And given the fact that we spend a lot of energy and time helping get her elected, we do want to be heard.
Okay, but in the end, she was censured because she didn't follow the party platform.
In the end, we don't believe the votes that she made aligned with the elements of the party platform. That is correct.
But doesn't that then going against her representing the people, since a lot of her constituents don't necessarily line up with the Republican Party platform?
Again, this is a question of, are we being heard in the process? And this is about wanting to open those lines of communication and be heard in the process. And this is a way within our rules that allow us to do that.
Because they spent a lot of time and energy and money on her last campaign. Schoenberger said the Central Committee didn't come to this conclusion lightly. He said it took them about 2.5 hours to deliberate in executive session. The censure, again, carries no penalties, Schoenberg said, but they do want McCann to recommit to that Republican platform. And if there are parts she doesn't agree with, well, they want to know what those are specifically so they can further understand where she is coming from.